Good evening, everyone.
Madam, good evening.
Uh, yeah, Welcome to day three of our 5 days free masterclass on electrical vehicles. Today, we are diving into one of the most critical aspects of EVs, battery technology and battery management system. Without any further delay, let me hand over the session to Mr. Manjunath, who will be guiding us through today's exciting topic. Manjunath, over to you.
Yeah. Hi guys. Good evening to everyone. How are you? Can you people hear me? Yeah. In the yesterday's session, I think we have deal with something like our what are the components of electric vehicles. Before I quickly recap, do we have any doubts from the yesterday's session? I think mostly we have cleared most of the doubts in the session itself. Still, are there any doubts? If there are any doubts, I'll open the doubt session roughly for 5 minutes. So if there are any doubts, so people can feel free to ask. If not, at the end of the session also, we'll be having again the doubt session, same as the yesterday. Uh, I think you people don't have any doubts if I'm not wrong. So so from my side, I can start the session. Chalo, let me quickly recap the things what we have seen in the last class. Yeah. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah. I think my screen is visible for everyone. Uh, so if you are getting any issues related to screen presentation or else, you can let me know from the chat box itself. Yeah. So if I'm not wrong, in the last class, we have discussed regarding the components of electric vehicles. Okay. Then we have seen something called our what are the different types of electric vehicles we'll be having. So in the components of electric vehicles, we have seen the traction battery, followed by we have seen what is the use of controller, what is the use of converter, what is the use of inverter, and then why we are using two different types of batteries. One is auxiliary battery and one is traction battery. Then we have seen something called what are the major disadvantages with respect to electric vehicle. Then we have seen what are the different types of electric vehicles we will be having. So in that, if I'm not wrong, we have seen in the types of vehicles, we have seen the hybrid vehicles, we have seen the plug-in hybrid vehicles, then we have seen something called our battery electric vehicles. So we have seen what are the differences happening or what are the major differences in this session, in these things. And then here we have seen what happens if we combine both the energy sources. Now, whenever we are dealing with the combination of things, in the combination of things, we have seen how the plug-in plays the key role and how the normal electric vehicle plays the key role. Uh, Then, if I'm not wrong, we have seen regarding the degree of hybridization. So, in the degree of hybridization, uh, we have seen what is the micro hybrid vehicle. Then we have seen what is the mild hybrid vehicle. Then we have seen what is the fully hybrid vehicle. Okay. Next, if I'm not wrong, we have deal with the plug-in hybrid vehicle also. So whenever we are coming for the micro, mild, and fully hybrid vehicles, in case of micro hybrid vehicle, the utility of motor is very less as compared to the engine. So as the degree is increasing, the utility of vehicle capacity is also increasing rapidly. So the utility of motor fed vehicle or the utility of electric vehicle is also getting increased rapidly. Then one thing I can say is that degree of hybridization is something which is calculated by electric motor power divided by total power. Which is calculated by electric motor power divided by total power, where the degree of hybridization is something, it is like it is like whenever the degree of hybridization is increasing, then automatically uh, capacity of electric motor is increasing and the utility of IC engine is decreasing. And here comes the major thing, that whenever the capacity of IC engine is decreasing, then it will automatically then it will automatically giving the output in such a way that the pollution is getting reduced. The pollution is getting reduced. Okay. So that's what we have seen. Then what are the contributions of things we have seen, how they are working, and what are the features of the different hybridizations we have seen. Followed by we have seen the drivetrain configurations. So whenever we are coming for the drivetrain configurations in case of electric vehicles, we'll be having majorly three different drivetrain configuration. Uh, so yeah, so we'll be having majorly three different drivetrain configurations which we'll follow. In that we'll be having the series parallel and series parallel hybrid vehicles. So if we properly consider, here the series hybrid vehicle is something that where the power is contributed in series, where the combination of energy source we will be using. So this is what the example we have seen. In this example, if we properly analyze, from the engine, we'll be getting one source of energy that is converted into electrical. From the battery, we are getting one source of electrical energy. Now, whenever both the energy sources are getting combined, at that instant, that energy will be given for our vehicle. So here the vehicle is running based on the power given by both electric vehicle, that both battery and engine. Okay, so here I'll be using the multiple sources combinedly, or here I am hybridizing multiple sources based on the series input. Okay. Then next, whenever we are coming from the series, because of the multiple losses or because of the multiple conversion, the efficiency will be reduced by default. So these are used for the heavy vehicles. Now the next type we have seen is the parallel, where I'll be having the parallel mode of application based on the road conditions or based on the driving conditions. I can utilize either of the one energy source. Then whenever I am coming for the series parallel hybrid vehicle, here in case of the series parallel hybrid vehicle, we need to notice something like uh, the vehicle can run as series, or the vehicle can utilize power with the help of the parallel. Okay. Uh, is my voice clear for everyone? Can you hear my voice properly? Yeah, if I'm not wrong, everyone can hear my voice properly. Yeah, sure. Now, whenever we are coming for the series parallel hybrid mode of vehicle, so if we deduct this generator from this system, it will be acting as a parallel mode of vehicle. And if we add this generator to this system, it will be acting as series mode of vehicle. Here, based on the driving conditions, we will be utilizing, or the vehicle will be utilizing either it may be series mode of vehicle, or it may be parallel mode of vehicle. So if we take it, if we observe it clearly, so here I can say that whenever I want to start the vehicle, I'll be using only battery power. Then whenever I need to use or whenever I need to accelerate my vehicle to the top, then I'll be going for the parallel power, okay, or series power. See here, I can say that this is the one case where we have seen in the last class that here I'll be having something called my electric motor. Where initially my battery will be starting or my vehicle will be starting only on the battery power. Okay. Then here I'll be having only parallel mode of operation. Then whenever I am coming for my further operation, whenever I need to increase the acceleration. So in that case, I'll be using both the powers, both the powers like I'll be using my IC engine power as well as I'll be using some electric power. Then whenever I am coming for the top acceleration or the high speed cruise and I'll be having only engine power. Then I'll be going whenever the deceleration is happened, there I'll be having the regenerative braking. So this is how at the first instant I'll be using only parallel power and the second instant I'll be using series power. Then in the further instances, sometimes I'll be using series, sometimes I'll be using parallel. So if we properly dissect this situation, I can use my vehicle as series vehicle or I can use my vehicle as parallel vehicle. So this is the one good advantage with the series parallel hybrid electric vehicle. And then we have seen what are the different types of brands or what are the different types of vehicles comes under the series vehicles and parallel vehicles. I think up to here we have completed. Yeah. So as of now, we have seen what are the electrical components are there in electric vehicle we have seen. Now let us see what are the general components we'll be having in a vehicle. Or now let us see what are the major transmission components we'll be having in a vehicle. Okay. Chalo. So can you see my screen where I'll be having a car, which I can say as a cross-sectional figure of my car. Yeah. So this is the cross-sectional figure of my car, where here something it is showing that engine or motor. Then I'll be having something called my transmission. Then I'll be having something called my drive shaft. Then I'll be having something called my differential. Then I'll be having something called my axle shaft. Okay. Now, whenever we are simply seeing the car from the outside, we just feel that the car will be moving whenever the acceleration is given, the tires will be moving. Okay. So this is what the scenario will be thinking. But there is a lots of mechanism behind the rotation of the wheels, because wheels are something, they are the circular objects where there will be works on the Newton's law. Whenever the supply is given or whenever the external force is applied on it, it will start the movement or else it will stay in the motion of rest. Okay. So this is what where we have learned in our physics. Okay. Now, whenever we are looking these figure, okay, now let us first try to understand what are the different components we'll be having. Okay, so the first component we will be having is engine or motor. Okay, if it is a normal IC engine vehicle, we'll be having the engine, or if it is a electric vehicle, we'll be having a, by default we'll be having a motor. Okay, then these engine or motor, regarding the engine or motor, let us discuss in the further sessions. More precisely, we'll deal with the motors. So now the point is that if we come in the reverse engineering, so if we check the properly, so here my wheels need to rotate further. I need to have some mechanical transmission from the engine. Okay. So here, let me take the example of my engine vehicle itself. So if I take the engine vehicle example, first thing I'll be having is called my transmission. Okay. For the engine, the transmission is connected. For the transmission, drive shaft is connected. This drive shaft is connected to my differential. And for the differential, I'll be having something called my axle shaft. Okay. So now, whenever I'm coming for the individual components, I need to discuss the few things which are important for making of the cars. Those few things are, one is the powertrain, one will be dealing with the drivetrain, then we'll be dealing with the components like transmission, drive shaft, differential, axle, braking system, and drive system. Chalo. Now let me go into the powertrain. So if we take the powertrain is something called as the power plant of the vehicle, where the main objective of the powertrain or its main motto is to generate the power and deliver that power across the road or towards the road. Okay. Now, so here delivering the power to the road is something that delivering the power to the wheels. So here the work of the powertrain is to generate the power and to deliver the power. So here simply I can say that whenever I am considering this powertrain, in the powertrain I will be having something called my motor, engine, transmission, drive shaft, differential, axle, battery pack, everything will be included, which helps to generate the power. Okay, here you need to remember that the powertrain is something that where every component is included, every vehicle component is included along with the generating unit of the vehicle. The generating unit of the vehicle is battery and motor itself. Okay, if you take the electric or it's like your fuel tank and engine. Okay, so this is what the powertrain. Whereas the design engineers, the electrical design engineers are uh, demanded to design this powertrain itself. Okay, so in the electrical engineer, as an electric vehicle engineers, if you want to design something, the something is your powertrain. Okay, so if you can design the powertrain perfectly, the rest of the things is the mechanical objects, or rest of the things are your 3D objects, where you will be having the seats, where you will be having the external body and all. That is something different story that will be designed by someone else. But as an electrical engineer, we need to be clear with the powertrain, because where in the powertrain, the engine, motor, batteries, everything is included. So whenever you are dealing with the electric vehicle subject, one specific thing we will be saying, or one thing that will be specified, that powertrain designing of vehicle. Okay, so no one will say that proper electrical vehicle designing, because in the electrical vehicle designing, all the mechanical designings will also included. But as a proper electrical engineer, we will be doing a proper powertrain design. Now, all of you clear with this powertrain? So I can say that powertrain is something, the power plant of the vehicle, which will generate the power, or which will store and which will convert the power, and which will transmit the power until the wheels. Am I clear for everyone? Only few people are typing as whatever the remaining. Done? Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, it's very good. Sure. So this is about our powertrain. Coming to the drivetrain, the next component we'll be having is drivetrain. So nothing new about the drivetrain. The drivetrain consists of group of elements or group of components that drive the wheels. Okay. So here we'll be only dealing with the components which will be driving the wheels. Okay. Here we'll not bother about the generating units, or here we will not bother about the power delivering units. Okay. So whenever we are coming for the drivetrain, in case of the drivetrain, every part of the powertrain is included except engine and motor. Okay. So simply what I can say is, if we exclude the engine and motor from the powertrain, then it is our drivetrain. Okay. So nothing new about your drivetrain. Chalo. Then next we'll be having something called our transmission. Okay. So whenever we are coming for the transmission, so all of we are aware of the transmission system. Okay. So directly we may not know what is the transmission system and all. But whenever I'm trying to explain the transmission here, so in the transmission, we'll be having something called the gear and clutch mechanism. So in every vehicle, we will be seeing the gearbox and clutch box. So what is the use of gearbox and clutch box, Andy? What is the use of gearbox? Yeah. Can you hear me? Really sorry, guys. I kept my mic in mute and I'm keep on talking. Yeah. So let me repeat again. If we consider the clutch and gearbox mechanism, okay, if we consider the clutch and gearbox mechanism, so in generally what we'll be doing, whenever we are trying to change the gear or whenever we are trying to gear up or gear down, so immediately what we'll do, we'll hold the clutch for a second, then we'll gear up or gear down the vehicle. So whenever the point of holding comes here, we are holding means we are disconnecting the turning engine from the gear system. Okay. So here we are disconnecting the turning engine from the gear system. Then we'll be shifting up and down the gears. Okay. Or into the neutral. So here what happened, where we can reduce the burden on the gear system and where we can improve the smooth momentum of the vehicle. So the combination of clutch and gear mechanism will indicate the combination of clutch and gear mechanism is known as our transmission. Now, whenever we are coming for the different types of transmission, by the transmission type, we will be having manual, semi-automatic, and automatic. Manual is something where we'll be having the proper clutch and gear mechanism. I'll be using my clutch and gear to change my gear, to increase the speed or to decrease the speed. Then then I'll be having something called a semi-automatic. In case of the semi-automatic, we'll be having something called our Celerio vehicles and all. So whenever Yeah. So if we go for the semi-automatic, so in case of the semi-automatic, we'll be having something called we'll be using we don't even have clutch here. We'll be having only gear, where I can say that in generally we'll be calling them as auto gear vehicles, but they are the semi-automatic vehicles. I can say the example of our Celerio vehicles or some vehicles where we'll be having in the Ertiga and all. So if we properly check that vehicle, we'll be having only parking gear and reverse gear. Okay, rather than that we don't have any gear to change, because there the engine will be automatically gearing up or gearing down based on the speed by using the sensors and all. Next up, we'll be having something called the automatic vehicles. Here we don't even have clutch, we don't even have gear, because this method is something that where the Tesla Cybertruck and all using. So in this method, we don't even have any clutch and we don't even have any gear. Okay. So this is what we'll be having in manual, semi-automatic and automatic. Coming for the transmission of vehicles, transmission in the vehicles based on the transmission system. One system we'll be having something called our automated manual transmission. So whenever we are coming for the automated manual transmission, here we'll be having something called a manual gearbox with what we say accurators for the clutch. So where I can say some added chips are included for the clutch, and we'll be having the proper shifting mechanism. So in case of this automated manual transmission vehicle, we'll be having a proper single clutch mechanism, and sometimes we may get some jerk sensation whenever we are changing the vehicle. Okay, whenever we are changing the speed of the vehicle, they will be the cheap, and their maintenance cost will also be very, very low. So this is how the automated transmission will be working. Then we'll be having something called our continuously variable transmission. So whenever we are dealing with the continuously variable transmission, this is something that where we'll be using the pulley mechanism. Okay, so I think all of you are aware of the pulley mechanism. So whenever I am coming for this pulley mechanism, one thing I can say that I'll be having both the pulleys. For one is for the top speed and one is for the low speed. These mechanism I'll be using in my scooters. Okay, so I think all of you aware of your scooties. Okay, So if you take, if you observe your scooters properly, there will be having something called our hand throttle. So based on the hand throttle movement, the pulleys movement will be changing. So whenever the pulleys movement will be changing, automatically the speed variation will be observed by the vehicle and the vehicle will be moving in the proper speed condition. And whenever we are coming for the continuously variable transmission, here we don't even have any clutch mechanism. Okay, we don't even have any clutch mechanism, and we don't even have any fixed gears. Okay, one thing we'll be having here is pulleys. Okay, this is about our uh, continuously variable transmission. Okay, so before going into the dual clutch transmission, we'll be having something called our automatic transmission. Okay, so in case of the automatic transmission, these are majorly used by electric vehicles. Okay, so in case of the electric vehicles, here we don't even use any clutch and gear mechanism, but here we'll be using a torque converter and planetary gears. Okay, so where the inbuilt gears for the motor, and we'll be using something called our torque converter. Okay, where whenever we are connecting this torque converter and planetary gears, there without any clutch operation and without any hand gear operation, the vehicle will be gearing up or gearing down. So here also we'll be having the smooth and comfortable operation where the efficiency will be moderate to high. Now, one last type of transmission is dual clutch transmission. So whenever I am coming for the dual clutch transmission, in case of the dual clutch transmission, see, the point is that whenever we are dealing with, yeah, whenever we are dealing with these type of vehicles, where I'll be having the clutch one and clutch two, or here also I'll be having the clutch one and clutch two. The point is that do we really have two clutches in the vehicle? Okay, the one thing we are aware of in case of the vehicle, we'll be having what I can say, we'll be having something called our clutch brake and acceleration, if I'm not wrong. Okay, do we really have two clutches? Because it is showing that two clutches here. But whenever we are coming for these type of methods, here we'll be having something called dual clutch transmission, where two clutches are embedded into one, or where two gearboxes are embedded into one system. Okay, so here we'll be having order even gearboxes where I can use for both the transmission system. Okay, then here I'll be having something called my automated switch, automated clutches. So there is no need of using any clutching operations also. Also inside the two clutches will be embedded into one automated clutch. Then we'll be having something called very smooth and quick operation, and the efficiency of this method is very, very high. So this is about our different types of transmission. So majorly we need to focus on these dual clutch transmission and automated transmission in case of our electric vehicles. Am I clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? Yes, yes, yes. Sure. Then the next component we'll be having is our drive shaft. Okay, the next component we'll be having is our drive shaft. Okay, so for explaining the drive shaft, let me again go back to the picture what I have used. Now, imagine this is the type of vehicle where the engine power or motor power is converted into the mechanical energy. Now, these mechanical energy need to be converted up to the, need to be transmitted up to the wheels. That is the main agenda. Now, whenever we are coming for the electrical power transmission, we'll be having something called our conductors. But whenever we are coming for the mechanical power transmission, we need to have some rotating objects, or we need to have some vibrating objects. We need to have some dynamic objects to transmit that power. So here, whenever we are getting power from the engine or motor, to be precise, let us take the example of the engine itself. From the engine, if we are getting the power, then that power will be given to the transmission. And from the transmission, the power is given towards the drive shaft. Okay, so here the drive shaft is one long iron rod, which is rotating and carrying the power. So to explain this more properly, all of you are aware of the lorries. So if you properly see the lorries, under the lorry, you will be having one long rod. Whenever the lorry is in running condition, it will be rotating. Did you see that? Yeah. Did you see that? Yeah. Under the lorry, we'll be having something called one long rod, which is rotating continuously whenever the lorry is in moving condition. Okay. So yeah. That's what the shaft where we'll be using to transmit the power from the engine or motor, to be precise, from the engine or motor towards my next components. Okay, so that is regarding my drive shaft. Then I'll be having something called my differential. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then from the drive shaft, the energy. So here, this is some rotating object. Then whenever the object is rotating, it will be carrying some mechanical power. That mechanical power is given towards the differential. Okay. Now let us know what is the differential. Okay. Before going into the differential, this is what the drive shaft. It is also called as the propeller shaft. Okay. So the drive shaft is also known as the propeller shaft or the prop shaft. This is the long rotating shaft that runs all the way down towards the center of the vehicle. And this is the one object which will be binding the gap between engine towards the wheels. Okay. So this is the one object which is binding the gap between engine or motor uh, towards the wheels. Okay. So this drive shaft is also known as the propeller shaft. So this is about your drive shaft. Now, from the drive shaft, the energy is given towards the differential. Okay, from the drive shaft, the energy is given towards the differential. Now, let us know what is the differential here. The differential allows the driven wheels to rotate at different speeds and to increase the grip. Okay, so without the differential, the driven wheels will be interlocked and forced to spin at the same speed, and it will lose the grip. Okay, now, if we properly observe, so from here, the drive shaft is directly connected to one object that is known as our differential. This differential is generally known as some object which helps to rotate the vehicle wheels at proper speed, or which helps to rotate the vehicle wheels at different speed. Okay. See, the point is that whenever I'm trying to turn my vehicle, okay, whenever I'm going on a straight road, both the wheels need to have proper speed. Okay, both the wheels need to have the same speed. But whenever I'm trying to turn my vehicle, in such cases, one set of wheel need to have low speed and one set of wheel need to have high speed. These speed variation, these speed delivery can be done with the help of only differential. So this is what the application of the differential, where if we don't have differential, then your vehicle wheels will be interlocked. So one thing I can say that in general in Telugu, we will be saying something called our Topud Bandlu. Okay, so the Topud Bandlu means where the vehicle which is carrying the vegetables. So if we take that vegetable vehicle, so if we want to turn that vehicle, we need to lift that vehicle and we need to turn it. Okay, so if we don't have differential, the same case with your cars also. Okay, because you can't turn your vehicle, or you can't give different speeds for your vehicles. More precisely, what I can say is your wheels will get interlocked. So whenever your wheels will get interlocked, you don't even have any grip for that. You don't even have any grip for that vehicle. Okay. So that is about your differential. Okay. Now from the differential, the energy will be supplied towards the axle. Okay. So axle is something that where I can't connect my differential wheels directly to the differential. So a wheel won't turn unless until it is connected to the axle. The axle is the shaft which on which wheels or a gear rotates. Okay. So here, see, the point is that wheels are something the rotating object. For rotation of the wheels, there should be some other rotating objects that will be rotating. So whenever the axle shaft is rotating, then only the wheels will be rotated. Okay. So if there are no axle, there is no point of placing the wheels. So this is the use of your axle. Okay. So am I clear with all the components of the vehicle as of now? your transmission, drive shaft, axle, and differential. Is it clear for everyone? Guys, are you following or not? I'm getting very less SS. As I said in yesterday's class, whenever I'm asking anything in the chat box, it should rise like the stock market. Whenever I'm asking that it should rise like a stock market, everyone should be included. Not one person will be keeping SS like Harshad Mehta. I want all the person need to be respond. Yeah, the drivetrain is something that if I exclude the engine and motor from the powertrain, then that is known as my drivetrain. Okay, chalo. So now the next component we'll be having is Rohan. You need to wait until I open the slide and I'll explain. Please be patient. Okay. Uh, the next thing I'll be having is the brake you are asking. So before I am explaining the brake, you're only braking yourself. No, chalo. Let us go into the brake now. Uh, the next component will be having something called our brakes. Okay. So whenever we are coming for the brakes, in the vehicle, we'll be having two different types of the brakes. One brake is mechanical or hydraulic brake. Uh, is my voice is clear?
Yes, Manjunath.
Yeah. So if anyone is getting the voice issue, please you try to reconnect, Andy, because the connectivity I am checking is from my side, it's everything clear. Chalo. Here, if you properly observe, whenever we are coming for the electric vehicle brakes, we'll be having the two different types of brakes. One is the mechanical brake and one more is the electrical brake. So before going into the mechanical or hydraulic brake, the first type of the brake we'll be having, let us discuss is electrical brake. Okay, so the electrical brake is something that the energy released by the electrical motor or generator during the braking and deceleration is recovered and fed into the high voltage battery. Often this is known as the regenerative braking. So whenever the brakes are applied, there will be some mechanical losses. So if that mechanical losses are continued or if that mechanical losses are not converted into some other form, then you will be having something called wear and tear effect on the brake pads. To overcome this wear and tear effect and to utilize the wastage energy, we will be having something called regenerative braking. Where in case of the regenerative braking, the energy released by motor, the energy released by the vehicle, okay, during the braking condition, it will be absorbed and given back to the high voltage battery, where that power can be reutilized. So this type of braking is known as our electric braking. So more precisely, what I can say is electric braking is something that where I'll be having regenerative braking mechanism. Now the next point is hydraulic braking. Okay, so these hydraulic brakings where we'll be having something called our where will Aditya is any doubt for you? Yeah, regenerative braking is something that imagine that whenever the vehicle is in running condition, whenever the brakes are applied, okay, so whenever the brakes are applied, some sort of mechanical energy will be released. Some sort of mechanical energy will be released. So whenever the mechanical energy is releasing, here that mechanical energy will be given to the generator and converted into the electrical energy, and that converted electrical energy will be given back to my battery. So where where I can utilize that electrical energy to recharge my battery. Okay, so this is the use of the regenerative braking. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. So whenever we are coming for this hydraulic braking, So in case of the hydraulic braking, we'll be having something called two different types of braking. So one type of hydraulic braking is disc brake mechanism, and one type of braking system we are using is disc brake mechanism, and one more type of braking system is drum brake mechanism. Okay. Now, whenever we are coming for the drum brake mechanism, in case of the drum brake mechanism, whenever the brakes are applied, the fluid from the brake will be transferred into the wheel, or there will be having the proper channel where you can observe. Okay. So whenever this fluid is transferring it into this wheel, here we'll be having something called our yellow region, where I can call them as our where I can call them as the brake layers. Okay. So whenever this fluid is passing into this brake layer, then it will be bulging out. So whenever this is bulging out, the force will be applied on the walls of the wheel, then the wheel will stops rotating. Here you can observe. Okay, here you can observe. This fluid will be coming into passing into the wheel, and here you will be having the arrows. Okay, so these arrows, whenever the fluid content is increasing in this wheel, though this yellow layer will be bulging out. So whenever it is bulging out, here you can observe the arrows. This will be moving towards the right, this will be moving towards the left. So whenever it happens, the walls of the wheels will be getting pressure, and then they'll stop rotating. So this is in case of the drum brake. And whenever we are coming for the disc brake, so I think all of you are aware of the disc brakes. Okay, so mostly we are habituated, or we are very much enthusiastic to use these disc brakes. So in case of the disc brakes also, yeah, in case of the disc brakes also, here we'll be having something called caliper. What we say, here we'll be having something called our caliper tubes. Okay, or caliper plates we'll be having. So here, whenever the brake is applied, due to the movement of the fluid, the calipers will be coming into the contact with the wheel. Here you can observe there the mentioned rotor. The rotor is something called wheel here. So whenever they are coming in close contact with the wheel, then automatically whenever something is suddenly stopping the movement of the wheel, or whenever something is hitting the wheel from the both the direction, automatically there will be having the sudden stop of the wheel. So that is how this is how we'll be using our disc brake mechanism. Okay. So one is the drum brake and one is the disc brake, where in the both cases we'll be having something called our hydraulic mechanism. So in the both of the cases, we'll be having something called our hydraulic fluid. With the help of the hydraulic fluid, both the brakes will be applied. In one case, we'll be having the drum mechanism, and in one case, we'll be having the disc mechanism. So compared to the drum and the disc brakes are 0.01 second more faster compared to the drum brakes. That is what where we'll be seeing. So if we take a normal two-wheeler vehicles, for the rear wheels, we'll be connecting in generally the drum brakes, and for the front wheels, we'll be connecting in generally the disc brakes. So in generally, if the braking application is somewhat slower, we can go for the we can apply the drum brake. And when we want to have the accurate, when we want to have the sudden braking, we'll be going for the disc brake. So this is how your mechanical brakings will be working. And sir, is this only the thing happens in the brake center? No, Andy, there are lots of insider mechanism inside this braking system, where if you want, you can refer to the mechanical vehicle concepts. There you can get more insights regarding this braking, because as an electrical engineer, this is what enough for us, because no one will be asking regarding how the brakes are applying in case of the electrical vehicle. Even though if they are asking, the drum brake and disc brake mechanism is more than enough. If you want to check the proper application with the proper calculations and with proper minute-to-minute analysis, you can refer for the mechanical vehicle concepts. Yeah, disc brakes are more dangerous than drum brakes, Arun. I'll also agree, because most of the cases where the disc brakes are creating more accidents in case of the two-wheelers. Because see, one thing is that if you properly observe the drum brake mechanism, here I'll be having something called my where my fluid need to be injected and where my vehicle need to be stopped. So it will be taking some, imagine it will be taking some 0.1 second. But if we are going for the disc brake, at the instant of the brake applied, the vehicle movement will be stopped. Imagine the point is that whenever we are going in a two-wheeler, okay, whenever you are going in a two-wheeler is something that you need to drive the vehicle in such a way that you need to balance the vehicle. Okay, you need to balance the vehicle. So whenever you are trying to balance the vehicle on the wheels, now the wheels are in the running condition, now the wheels are in the propulsion condition. If suddenly the brakes are applied, okay, just observe the case. If suddenly the brakes are applied, means here I can say that you are running very fastly and someone is coming in your opposite direction and hitting you. Then what happened? Automatically we'll fell down. In the same manner, we'll lose the balance. In the same manner with the disc brake also. Whenever you are using these disc brakes suddenly, then because of the sudden sudden motion loss in the vehicle, you will be getting the problem regarding this. Sir, why won't you? See, the point is that we will be using the drum brakes as well as the disc brakes. If the emergency is very high, if the vehicle need to be stop at the immediate instant, then we'll be going for the drum brake, or else we'll be using the disc brakes. And drum brake and disc brake, usage of the drum brake and disc brake, it depends upon the manufacturer. Where there are some vehicles, well, they'll be using only drum brakes. There are some vehicles they'll be using only disc brake mechanism only. So rather than seeing what we are using, let us quickly understand that why we need to use and how we need to use them. Okay, so this is about the braking system. And something, the next thing we need to discuss is our suspension system. The next thing we need to discuss something is our suspension system. Okay, so I think all of you are aware of the suspension system. The suspension system is something that where we'll be having the spring action for my vehicle. Okay, where we'll be having the spring and shock absorption action for my vehicle. So whenever the vehicle is going in the abnormal conditions, okay, whenever no one said that we are not using any ABS in the electric vehicle. We are using, but to get understand, it will take some time. Okay. Now, whenever we are coming for the suspension system, in case of the suspension system, we'll be having something called our springs and shock absorbs, where we'll be having the proper linkages. See, this is what the suspension system looks like. So whenever we are getting any obstacles on the road, automatically what happens, imagine if we don't have this suspensions, automatically the vehicle body will lean down towards the ground, then it will not bounce back and the body of the vehicle or the surface of the vehicle will get damaged. To avoid this condition and to avoid to overcome or what we say, to overcome the external tensions which we are occurring while we are driving, here we are using something called our suspension system. So suspension system గురించి మాట్లాడాలి అంటే there is nothing to worry that మనం బైక్ డ్రైవ్ చేసే ప్రతిసారి whenever the vehicle is in moving, గుంటలు వచ్చినా లేదా స్పీడ్ బ్రేకర్స్ వచ్చినా ఆటోమేటిక్ ఏమవుతుంది, we will be having some jerking motion. So whenever we are having that jerking motion, in the jerking motion, if you properly observe, springs will be compressing and springs will be expanding. Okay, so in this expansion and compression, the proper tension will be overcome. The proper tension by springs will be overcome. So this is what the suspension system we will be having. So all of you clear with the braking and suspension system? Yeah, see, the point is that whenever we are coming for the different suspension systems, so if it is a very high loaded vehicle, we can go for the hydraulic, or else we can go for the air suspension. Or in case of the high vehicles, we can also go for the leaf suspension, or we can also go for the caterpillar suspension. So it depends on the variant, or it depends on the way you are building the vehicle. Yeah, I have already explained the regenerative braking twice. One more time, let me explain. Regenerative braking is something that whenever the brakes are applied to the vehicle, some mechanical losses will be happen. those wastage energy or those mechanical energy will be converted into electrical energy with the help of the generated, and that converted electrical energy will be given back to that what we say that wastage energy is converted into electrical energy, and the electrical energy is given back to the high voltage battery. From there, where I can utilize that wastage energy. Clear? Karthik, coming to the braking system, we'll be having two types of braking. That is our electrical braking. As of now, I have explained, and something we'll be having something called our hydraulic braking. In case of the hydraulic braking, we'll be having the drum brake and disc brake mechanism. In case of the drum brake, where we'll be having the proper drum, where we'll be having proper drum mechanism. Whenever the fluid is entering into the drum, the inside layer will be expanded and the brakes will be applied. And in case of the disc mechanism, you'll be having something called your caliper plates. The caliper plates will come into the contact and stop the movement of the vehicle. Clear? Sure. Now let us move into the next topic. Someone is asking one question I have seen from someone that whenever I'm discussing regarding the differentials and all,
Hi guys, I think there's some network issue with Manjunath. Please bear with us. He'll join us in short time. Thank you. Before Manjunath joins us, guys, we have an announcement to say. All the pursuing candidates of second year and third year can enroll us for Tech Enrich program, where we will be training you on various technical topics starting from your second year. And in the final year, you will be given 1 month intensive training program wherein you can join our program and then get an placement using our course. For all the final year and the pass out students, we have a batch starting on May 22nd on electrical system design, where we will be teaching you completely industry oriented concepts on switchgear, substation, EV technology, industrial automation, and also the solar power plant design. Along with these concepts, we will also teach you on various softwares like AutoCAD, ETAP, E3, Dialux, PVSys, Google SketchUp, and Revit. So this course is for 2 months, guys. You can join us, enroll us. Our team will give you all information on the chat box about the course. If anybody who wants to enroll us or who are looking for an job oriented program, you can contact us for more details. Um, Thank you. Thanks for your patience, guys. Manjunath will shortly join us. Thank you. Please do contact us on the given numbers, guys. Our team will give you the fee details and the course program consideration. Thank you. All the guys who have asked for the course fee, please do contact us on the phone numbers given. Thank you. Guys, I see all of you are asking for the link. Please do wait. We have still session continuation. I request all of you to please wait and then get the link. Okay. Link will be shared once Manjunath start the session. Thank you. Guys, before Manjunath comes in, can I ask you some question here? We'll just have a poll. How many of you are looking exactly on the intensive EV course? Guys, the poll is on the screen. Can you all please answer? How many of you feel that you can have intensive? Oh, I see great response. Most of you are saying 38, 44, 46, 40, 50. Wow. There are many people who are looking forward for intensive EV course. Great, great. Super, guys. Super. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your response. I request all of you to please do vote for your confirmation, because we are soon gonna launch an intensive EV course which talks detailedly about battery pack design along with motor design and all the various aspects in the EV consideration. You will be doing it by your hands. So great, great. I got almost like 120 responses. Yes, guys, expecting all others to answer. Okay, great. Super. Manjuna, you're here? Manjunath, can you hear me? Okay. Um, Guys, I've got just 146 and I still have 350 plus people on the uh, group. So please. Yes, Pawan, we do have EV internship. Yes, guys, we do have EV internship starting on May 5th for 1 month duration. You can join us. Our program will be there. Okay, Lakshmi Priya, I got your point. 1 second, guys. All right, we were talking. It is online and offline, guys. We have our branch, HIW branch only at Hyderabad, located in SR Nagar, Amirpet. Um, yes, Gautam, we do have EV course within simulation using MATLAB, and the last day class would be on EV simulation on master class. Ma'am, please do contact our team for 1 month internship program, guys. It contains grades also, ma'am. Grade, you mean what, Pawan? In what sense you're asking in terms of grade? It will be for 1 month, Karthik. The EV internship which Pawan has asked will be for 1 month. We'll have 1 month EV internship program dedicatedly and detailedly explained on EV along with simulation. Please do contact us. The numbers are given on the chat box, guys. Yes, Ranjit, we do have another program on solar internship program, where we'll be talking about detailing in solar along with the plant configuration. You can also look into our program in terms of solar. We do have solar internship, guys. You don't get stipend for this, Vishalakshi. This is an paid internship, which will be a skill-based internship. Okay, so you guys have to pay us and then get the internship done. and you will also be given hands-on experience on the concepts altogether. Karthik, please do contact us. The numbers are given on the chat box. Shivani, can we please post the feedback link?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, offline internship is in Hyderabad, SR Nagar. Thank you guys. I've got a response of almost, and the count is still increasing out of 339, where it is saying 170 people wants intensive EV course. We will surely approach you, which we might launch sooner in the coming month. Thanks for your response. I'm ending the poll. Out of 173, only 20 said no, and 150 people have voted for intensive EV course. Surely, guys, we will surely come back to you and give the message. Please do follow our Instagram and LinkedIn handles for the more details to get updates about HIW and its programs on a very larger pace. Hi, Chandan. Manjunath actually had an severe network issue, so he's trying to connect back. So sorry for the interruption in the session. Mama click yes, but changes to no, but I'm interested. No worries, Jashwant. We'll contact you. Please do give in the feedback that you're interested for EV intensive course. Guys, our Instagram and LinkedIn handles have been posted on the chat box. Please do connect with us. Ma'am, can you provide accommodation for offline internship? Sorry, Jagdish, we do not provide accommodation. We only charge for the training program for the internship. Guys, I think we still have issue with Manjunath connectivity. Manjunath, you are there? Can you please respond if you're already connected? Okay. So,
Ma'am, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Thanks,
Yeah,
Manjunath.
really.
So I see that most of them are dropping off. You can conclude what you have told so far. And if you want to add some points to the conclusion, you can add. Because
No, ma'am, I think people will stay. If they are okay, I'll continue because of the network issue I have left. Now, I think I'll be having the stable network.
okay, great. Okay, Manjunath, please do continue. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please allow me to share the screen?
Manjunath, you are, can you please rename yourself? I see so many. Okay, is
It's
that you?
Manjunath have kept, ma'am, because the point is that due to the heavy
Okay, I
scramble in
got
this,
you.
due to
Okay,
the
I
heavy
got
scramble in this internet, I'm connected with my laptop as well as with my phone, where I'm speaking from my phone and presenting from my laptop.
Okay, you got both, Manjunath.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Now let me share it. I think now everyone can also see my screen.
Yes, everybody can able to see you and it is
Yeah.
visible. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, and yeah, chalo. So the thing we have stopped here is where in between we are dealing with the drum brake and disc brake mechanism, where we have seen we have seen that whenever we are dealing with the drum brake mechanism, we'll be having some fluid entering into the drum. We'll be having the drum mechanism, and whenever I am coming for the disc brake mechanism, here I'll be having something called my caliper, which will help to use as my braking mechanism and which will stuck my vehicle or which will stop the momentum of my wheels. Okay. now coming back to the suspensions, as we discussed in case of the suspension system, where I'll be having my spring and shock absorbs, okay, which will absorbs and which will what compress, or here I'll be having something called my compression and expansion. Okay, so whenever I'm having the compression and expansion, in the process of compressing and expansion, the external tension will be absorbed by the spring mechanism, and overall the burden on the vehicle will be reduced. So by towards this point, I think everyone is clear. Yeah. Okay. Chalo. Coming back to the next point, we'll be having something called our different types of drive systems. See, the point is that whenever I am dealing with some questions, or whenever I am reading some questions in the chat box, one of our friend asked that, sir, can we give power to the front wheels, or can we give power to the rear wheels only, or can we give power to the all wheels? So these are the general doubts where we'll be getting. Okay. Now let me clarify regarding your doubts. Okay. So whenever we are dealing with the drive system, okay, drive system is something that where I'll be having the power supply, or for which set of the wheels I'll be giving my power supply. So coming to the drive systems, in generally we'll be having the 4 different types of drive systems. One is the front wheel drive system, then we'll be having something called the rear wheel drive system, then we'll be having something called the 4-wheel drive system, and finally we'll be having something called the all-wheel drive system. Okay, so coming to the front wheel drive system. Okay, so front wheel drive system is something that where we'll be having the differential towards the front wheel. Okay, so the power will be given, or power will be directly delivered to the front wheels. Okay, here the front wheels will be getting the power, or the front wheels will be getting the energy, and the front wheel will be completely pulling the vehicle, or the front wheel will be pulling the rear wheels for the rotation of the vehicle. So do we have any drive shaft in case of the front wheel? Do we have any drive shaft in case of the front wheel? Yes. Yes or no? I'm expecting answers from your side, Andy. So I want all the 270 people need to be responded. I don't think so. Yeah. What about the rest of the people? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So how many of you people clearly observed my slide whenever I am dealing with the drive shaft? How many of you people clearly seen my slide whenever I'm dealing with the drive shaft? Everyone seen my slide? Yeah. If you've seen my slide, there I mentioned one point that I'll come back to the slide once again. Yeah. Now, after seeing this slide, now you say me that do front wheel drive require any drive shaft? Yeah, now I'm getting big nose. I'm happy for your big nose because what is the work of the drive shaft? And a drive shaft is some long rotating shaft which will be binding the gap between the transmission, which will be binding the gap between our transmission and the differential. Now, whenever my what we say, whenever my transmission is at the front side and I need to deliver my power towards the rear wheels, in such cases I'll be having something called my drive shaft. But whenever I'm coming for the front wheel drive itself, in that cases, the differential can be directly integrated with the transmission, or the differential can be directly integrated with the motor shaft. So there is no need of any drive shaft. Okay, so am I clear now? Yeah. So when I am discussing regarding the front wheel drive, to conclude the front wheel drive, I can say that in case of the front wheel drive, the power is given towards the front wheels, and the vehicle will be pulled by the front wheels. Now, whenever we are coming for the rear wheel, now can anyone say me how the rear wheel will be working? For which wheels I am giving the power here? Guys, everyone need to respond for the questions I am asking. Yeah, very good. Back wheels, rear wheels, rear wheels, rear wheels, rear wheels. Very good, Andy. So whenever we are coming for the rear wheel drive, in case of the rear wheel drive, here we'll be having something called the rear wheels. Now the power is given towards the rear wheels. Now the power is given towards the rear wheels. So in case of the rear wheel drives, my rear wheels are pushing the vehicle, or my rear wheels are pushing the front wheels. Okay, so this is what we'll be having in case of the front wheel drives and rear wheel drives. Okay, so these are the these drives are in generally used for delivering power towards my vehicle, towards my wheels. So which set of the wheels need to be powered, that is decided by the front wheel drive and the rear wheel drive. Okay, now here I am having something called my four wheel drive. Okay, now here I am having something called my four wheel drive. Then what is the use of four wheel drive? Okay, so if we properly think the use of the four wheel drive, before we are going into that application and use of the four wheel drive, imagine we are traveling in an off-road condition where I'll be having a lot of what we say mud on the land, or where the wetland I'll be having. Okay, I'll be having the wetland, and I am using something called my rear wheel drive vehicle. Okay, I'm using something called my rear wheel drive vehicle. Imagine my front wheels are stuck into that wet road, and my back side of the vehicle came upside. Okay, so imagine there is a slant position of the vehicle. Only the front wheels are on the road, and the back wheels or rear wheels on the height or in the air. In such situation, even how much acceleration I am giving, okay, even though how much acceleration I am giving, only my rear wheels are rotating continuously. Due to the rear wheels are in the air, my front wheels are not getting any support, or my front wheels are not getting any power. So if we observe the condition here we'll be having something called imbalance in the power. Okay, here we'll be having something called there is no proper balance in the power distribution if you properly observe. Okay, to avoid this condition, to give the proper balance to the power, we'll be having something called our four-wheel drive. Okay, which is known as the 4WD, where in the Tesla 4x4, in the Tesla 4x4, or if you see the recent models, Mahindra Thar, which is one of the beautiful car, or in the Jeep, where the vehicle is most suitable for the off-road conditions. There also will be, we can observe RWD or 4x4. Okay, then whenever we are coming for the Hummer, someone asked in the yesterday's session, where there also will be having 4x4. Okay, so there will be having all the four wheels. Okay, there will be having all four wheels will be getting the power. We'll be using front wheel drives and rear wheel drives together. Okay, we'll be using front wheel drives and rear wheel drives together. So whenever we are coming for the four wheel drive, in case of the four wheel drive system, typically required the driver to manually engage the four wheel drive mode, or driver can use only front wheel or rear wheel by using some button or by using some lever. Okay, so we'll be having one lever or we'll be having some button. So based on the condition, if the vehicle is moving on road condition, then driver can use only front wheel or only rear wheel. If the vehicle is moving in off-road condition, then with the help of that lever, driver can convert that front wheel, rear wheel into a four-wheel drive. Together, he can convert into a four-wheel drive. Okay, in generally, this four-wheel drive is focused for the off-road vehicles. Okay, four-wheel drives is more common in trucks and SUVs, as well as your Mahindra vehicles and all, which comes under the big vehicle. and it is designed for more challenging off-road conditions and terrain conditions, including mud and rock roads where you will be having the steep inclines. Okay, so whenever the road conditions are difficult, to overcome that road conditions, we'll be having something called our off-road focused vehicles. They are our 4WD vehicles. Okay, so whenever we are coming for the power distribution in case of the four-wheel drive system can often offers the split power. Okay, so they'll be often offering the split power equally between the front and rear axles. Okay, they'll be offering the split power in between the front and rear axles, and may offer the features of locking the differential whenever they need to have the maximum traction power. Okay, whenever they need to have the maximum traction power. Okay, so this is the use of our four-wheel drive. So all of you clear with the four-wheel drive? Yeah, I think you got some crystal clarity regarding the four wheels. Now, whenever you are seeing the Mahindra Thar where it is writing 4x4, don't think that you'll be having the 4 seats inside. Just you think that that is a four-wheel drive vehicle. Okay, chalo. Now, rather than the four-wheel drive, we'll be having something called all-wheel drive, AWD. What do you mean by all-wheel drive, Andy? All wheels get same power even though in the turning conditions also. The same all wheels are getting same power in case of your four-wheel drives also. No? Any other answers? Anyone? Yeah. Shall I continue? Used for trucks. Yeah, you can use for trucks. Where all-wheel drives drive all time, no switch to control forward. Yeah, very good, Aditya. Where you have near to the answer. All-wheel drive means the power given for all the four wheels, battery traction, stability. Yeah, the point is that power is given for the four wheels and we'll be having the battery traction, stability control easier in case of 4WD also, no? Yeah, in that we don't have option to switch. Yeah, that's one of the appropriate or near answer. So whenever we are coming for the all-wheel drives, in case of the all-wheel drive system, they are designed to automatically distribute the power for all the four wheels. Okay, typically they will be having the ability to switch the power between the front and rear axle whenever they are needed. Okay, so whenever we are coming for the all-wheel drives, they are mainly focused on road conditions. Okay, whenever we are coming for the four-wheel drive, they are mainly focused for off-road condition. But whenever we are coming for the all-wheel drive, they are mainly focused for the on-road condition, where they are commonly used in heavy cars. They are commonly used for better on-road performance, even though they are going lightly for off-roading also. Okay. Now, whenever you are coming for the power distribution in case of the all-wheel drive, power is usually distributed based on the traction, with more power going to the wheels, where we'll be having the proper better grip. Now, if we compare the four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, one thing I can typically say that both can afford for power towards the four wheels. But whenever you are coming for the four-wheel drive, here you will be having the option to switch it into front wheel or to switch it into rear wheel based on the application of the driver, based on the application of the road. But whenever you are coming for the all-wheel drive, I can say that they are the automated, or there you will be having the automatic power deliver. Okay, there you will be having proper automated process where you can switch it to front wheel, where you can switch it to rear wheels. Okay, so these all-wheel drive where you can observe on the buses, and whenever you are booking tickets and all, if you book the sleeper class buses and all, in generally we'll see that where is my seat? Is it towards the window seat or there or not? Who are there beside us? These are the things we will be seeing. But if you properly observe the ticket, on the ticket you will be having something called this is AWD vehicle or this is 4WD vehicle. Okay, mostly you'll be having the AWD vehicles, which indicates all-wheel drive vehicles, where you will be having the proper comfort entire the vehicle. Okay, the proper power is delivered for all the wheels. Okay, so in coming for the summarization, I can say that Whenever I'm coming for the all-wheel drive, it is a continuous automatic system for on-road vehicles and light off-road vehicles. And whenever I'm coming for the four-wheel drive, which offers the more control to the driver, where driver can use it as a four-wheel drive, or where driver can use it as a two-wheel drive, okay, based upon the road conditions. This vehicle is mostly used, or this vehicle is mainly designed for off-road conditions. Whenever I am coming for the efficiency case, see, whenever you are going for the four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, all the four wheels need to have the power. But in case of the off-road conditions, whenever you are going for the off-roading, the fuel efficiency will be low comparative to the on-road. Okay, that is what the difference will be having. Okay, so all of you clear with this drive system? All the remaining people, all of you clear with this drive systems? Shallow. Okay. Yeah. So one example I can show you of the all-wheel drive vehicle is our Tesla model vehicle. Tesla Model S vehicle, which is offering the all-wheel drive, where the extra motor allows in the all-wheel drive. That is something different story. So whenever you are having the all-wheel drive, here you will be having the proper balancing. This is one set of wheel drive, and this is one set of wheel drive. Okay. So this is what about the drive system. Okay, so now all of you clear with this slide, okay, where I have shown what is the car made up of, in which we are having the powertrain, drivetrain, transmission, drive shaft, differential, axle, braking and drive system. Everyone clear with these things? Yeah, I want all the people need to be I want all the people to be responded in the chat box. It's just a matter of keeping yes or no, or someone is directly keeping yes, or that is the letter S. That is also I can say it. Okay. To repeat it quickly, I can say that the powertrain is something where it is the power station or the power generating unit of the vehicle, where the power is delivered for entire system. And if we exclude the engine and motor from the powertrain, then we'll be having something called the drivetrain. And next, coming for the transmission, which will be having the clutch and gear mechanism, which helps to which will be carrying power from my motor towards the wheels. Then I'll be having something called my differential, which will be delivering equal amount of power for the wheels. Okay. Then I'll be having something called my axles. Okay. Axle is something which helps to rotate the wheels. Then I'll be having something called my braking system. I think we are aware of the braking system. In the braking system, we'll be having something called our electrical and mechanical braking. In the mechanical, we'll be having disc and hydraulic braking. Finally, coming for the drive system, just now we have discussed, we'll be having the 4 different drive systems, where we'll be having front wheel, rear wheel, all wheel, and 4-wheel drives. Okay. Yeah. This is about what car is made up of. Before concluding today's class, just one point I need to add here. Yeah. This is what the vehicle we have seen. If I am not wrong, this is what the vehicle we have seen. This is what the vehicle components we have seen. Now, if we observe the proper components here, just now you ignore this engine. Okay, now let us imagine this is a electric vehicle. So whenever I'm coming for the electric vehicle, let us also ignore this transmission, because we'll be having the automatic transmission where the gear here the transmission will be done with the help of some steppers and all. Let us ignore the transmission part also. Now, let us come from the reverse. Okay, first for the propulsion of the vehicle, my wheels need to rotate. Okay, Am I correct? For the propulsion of the vehicle, my wheels need to rotate. Yeah, you need to respond quickly and we need to wind it off because then we need to have the doubt session. So for the propulsion of the vehicle, my wheels need to rotate. Am I correct? Yeah. Now, for the wheels, we are getting power from the axle, if I am not wrong. So for the rotation of the wheels, before the wheels rotating, the axle need to be rotated. Wheels are something, the dummy object where we are connecting them towards the axle. Okay. Now, whenever the axle rotates, the wheels will rotate. Okay. That is the duty of the wheels. Okay. Now my axle need to be rotated. For the rotation of the axle, I need to get power supply from the differential. Okay, I need to get power supply from the differential. Now, if my differential is giving the power supply, then my axle will be rotating. Okay, now then for the differential, the power will be delivered from the drive shaft. Okay, for the differential, the power will be delivered from the drive shaft. Here, if the drive shaft rotates properly, then the differential will be getting the power based on the speed and all. There will be having the mechanical calculations. That is something different story. If my drive shaft rotate properly, then my differential will get the power. Now here my drive shaft is some one long iron rod where it need to be rotated, Now here for rotating my drive shaft, I need to have some object that will help to rotate my drive shaft. Okay, because it is some normal object. It is some normal stationary object where it need to have some energy or where it need to be connected for something for rotation. Now this is connected to the rotar's shaft. Okay. Now this drive shaft is connected to the motor shaft. If we properly observe now, for the movement of the vehicle, wheels need to rotate it. For the wheels rotation, axle need to rotate it. For the axle rotation, differential need to give the power. To get the power for the differential, the drive shaft need to rotate it. Now to rotate the drive shaft, your motor shaft need to rotate it. Now, whenever the motor shaft is rotating, the speed at which your motor shaft is rotating, at the same speed your drive shaft will be rotating, and the same energy will be transmitted towards the wheels. Okay. Now, if we properly observe, from the drive shaft towards the wheels, that is something our transmission part, where for the transmission part, we need to have some object to rotate the transmission part and to propel the vehicle. That object is known as our motor. Whenever we are coming for the motor, we'll be having the stator. Inside the stator, we'll be having the rotor. Whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences some mechanical force. Whenever the mechanical force is experienced, the flux will cut the loop. Okay, then something the working of the motor will be done, and then the rotor starts to rotate. Whenever the rotor starts to rotate, the shaft attached to the rotor starts to rotate. Now, if that shaft is connected to my drive shaft, then my drive shaft will also rotate. Okay, so am I clear? Am I clear for everyone? Yeah. So this is what the beauty of the electric vehicle. So as of now, the things whatever you have seen, those all majorly comes under your mechanical vehicle components. Okay, whatever the drive shaft, axle, differential, blah blah blah, everything will comes under your mechanical vehicle concept. But whenever you are coming for your electrical vehicle, electrical components which are embedding with the mechanical components, this is the point where they are getting embedded. Okay, so whenever the motor shaft is rotating, then my vehicle drive shaft, to be precise, my propeller shaft will be rotating. Now, if I can control the speed of the rotation speed of my rotor, then I can control the speed of my vehicle. If I can control the speed at which my rotor shaft is rotating, then I can control the speed of my vehicle. Here comes the speed control of vehicle is completely depends upon the motor. That is why we will be saying that motor is one object, or motor is one component which is working as a heart of the vehicle, which is working as whatever you think, that is the main part of the vehicle. If the motor is not working properly, then the entire vehicle will get damaged. Now, whenever we are coming for the motors, we will be having the different types of the motors, different working principles of the motor. Now, which motor I need to use for which vehicle, then I can have the proper motor working conditions and all. In tomorrow's session we'll be dealing. Tomorrow's session is something that is very important session, where we'll be dealing with the proper motor technologies, where we'll be dealing with the selection of motors. If we know how to select the motor, then we are something called pro in electric vehicle technology. Now just imagine, okay, imagine I don't have motor here, then can I run my vehicle? No, definitely not, because drive shaft is something that if you connect the engine, it will rotate, or if you connect the motor, it will rotate. Now I don't want engine, I want some electric vehicle. Now for rotation of the drive shaft, my motor shaft need to be rotated. That is how the electrical energy is converting into the mechanical energy. So even though if you take any small vehicle or small motor application, okay, whenever the battery supply is given for the motor, one shaft will be rotating. If you connect a fan to that shaft, that fan will rotate. So there the mechanical power transfer will happen. In the same manner, the power transfer, the mechanical power transfer will be happen towards the vehicle. Okay, now whenever we are coming for the motor, here one beauty is that we are giving the electrical power and we are getting mechanical power. Okay, so this is what we need to identify. This is how our motor is induced, included, or our motor is introduced into our electric vehicle. Okay. Then after the motor, for the motor, we need to have the power supply from the batteries. We'll be dealing with the batteries. Then in between, we'll be having the converters. We need to deal with the converters. We need to deal with the controllers. Okay. Tomorrow's session is something important, that where we'll be covering motors and batteries together. If you properly attend for tomorrow's session, if you properly listen for tomorrow's session, then these battery, these motor, this system you can draw or you can simulate in your MATLAB. Okay, so this is what I want to say in this today's session. I think everyone got the clarity, whatever we have discussed in today's session. Is everything is clear? Can you please respond me in the chat box? All the people need to be responded. No, we don't have any stopping in case of the electrical braking. It's only used for utilization of wastage energy. Done? Yeah. If it's done, so it's done from my side. One last time, what I can say is, for rotation of your drive shaft and all, here the motor plays the key role. So the learning regarding the motor, understanding the motor is very important in case of the electric vehicle technology. Yeah, I'm done from. Now the chat box is open for the people who are having the doubts. Sir, which is more efficient, four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? I have already explained that whenever you are going for the off-road condition, four-wheel drive is efficient. Whenever you are coming for the on-road condition, all-wheel drive is efficient. So it depends upon the path you are choosing. Yeah. And comparatively, off-road will consume more, more power as compared to the on-road. Purpose of differential to supply the equal amount of power for all the wheels. Yeah, definitely we'll go through the ECU, because without the electronic control unit, we can't go into vehicle technology. So EVs take more power when it goes to hill area like Simla. See, the point is that whenever you are going for the off-roading condition, automatically the power required to propel the vehicle is higher.
So automatically they'll be taking the high power. See, the point is that you can easily compare the things with your IC engine vehicles also, where if you are going in the off-roading condition, your mileage will be less as compared to the on-roading conditions. How to calculate the charging and discharging time of the battery? That depends upon the state of charge and depth of discharge, where first you need to understand the principle of battery, chemistry of battery, then you'll get to know in tomorrow's class. How battery cooling works, that also I can say in the tomorrow's class itself, where I'll be dealing with the battery management system and thermal management system. Yeah, whenever we are coming for the front wheel drive and rear wheel drive, in case of the front wheel drive, the differential or the power is directly given for the front wheel, where the front wheels are getting power, your rear wheels will not get any power. Coming for the rear wheel drive, it is a vice versa. In case of the rear wheel drive, so your rear wheels are getting power rather than your front wheels. Which type is best to cooling the battery pack? Thermal management system. See, the point is that to understand the thermal management system, you need to understand the battery management system. So, which will be explained in tomorrow's class. So, is that rear wheels are both the rear wheels and front wheels are used in electric vehicles, and it depends on the variants. No, you don't. You will have the vehicle simulation completely. The time will not permit for the BMS simulation. So which type of motor? If I'm not wrong, it might be your motor. So coming for the motors, for two-wheelers, BLDC motors. For four-wheelers, AC induction motors and permanent magnet synchronous motors. where whenever you are dealing with the BLDC motors, you will be having by default the hub motors. So battery state of charge and battery state of health, we can see while running the vehicle. Yes, whenever we are having the intelligent batteries, well, we can see the state of charge and state of health when the battery is running. See, the battery application is the vehicle battery application is more or less like your phone battery application only. Then, any other doubts from the participants?
Manjunath. Manjunath. Am I audible?
Yes, Shivani, you're audible.
Ma'am, I think we are done with session right now.
Yes, yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. I request all of you to please give your feedback if anybody left for the feedback. Shivani, could you please post the feedback link in the chat?
For battery state of charge, yeah, that's will be discussed. Which one is the best, sir, rear wheel or front wheel? There is, we can't say that no single best here we'll be having. It depends on from variant to variant. In generally, we'll be using rear wheel drive for performance handling, but the same we'll be having with the front wheels also. We can't judge it. Then anything else? Any questions from your side? If not, it's 8:50. We can wind it off.
Thank you, Manjunath. I think none of you has any
Screen not
questions.
visible. I am not presenting any screen. Then anything else? So shall we wind it off?
Yes.
Hello. Madam, shall we wind it off?
Yes, Manjunath, we can. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you.